Okay, good evening to you all. Today is 15th January 2026, which we are going to have a webinar on company registration and corporate structuring in Nigeria. This is my second webinar in this week, and I promise to hold uh, three webinars within the week that is before the end of, we can see January. So this is the second webinar. So I'm Ahmad Aminu Ahmad, and I'm also a founder and CEO of Ahmad Technologies and Consultants Limited, also a founder of Ahmad Law Firm, which we call Digital Associates Chambers. So I'm a lawyer by profession and also by practice, and uh, you know, I can say very good in corporate matters and uh, property law, ICT law, and the rest. So that's why I chose this topic uh, to talk about these two issues that has to do with company. So, like always, I start my presentations with outlines. That is what we are going to cover during the presentation. So about the webinar, I will say some few things about the webinar, maybe what you should expect, what you should focus more to learn during the webinar, and some few things about it. So I'll talk about that. Then we'll look at different categories of company registration. So we'll look at that. There are different categories of corporate registrations in Nigeria. So we'll look at these categories to have some overview of them and some understanding about these categories. And I'm very sorry, I would advise you to get a pen and maybe a sheet of paper to write and jot some of the things because I didn't write anything in the presentation. So most of the things I'm going to say it. So maybe you can write them when I'm mentioning all for you. And I'll talk about why limited company. So I'll talk about that, why you need a limited company, or why did I choose to maybe talk more about the limited company? Because when we say company, there are lots of different companies that are out there which you can register, but most of the people are not aware of the rest of the categories of the companies that we have. They only know the one they used to register. So we'll talk about that also. Then I'll talk about directors and secretaries. So I'll talk about directors and secretaries in the company. I'll talk about that. Shareholders. I'll talk about shareholders also. So we'll look at who are the shareholders, and then we'll talk about shares. So maybe we'll start talking about shares, and after that, then we talk about uh shareholders. And for the shares, I'll talk about shares in general. That is the shares that the company is supposed to have. So I'll talk about shares in general because there is difference between shares, share capital, and also authorized share capital. But I'll talk about shares. Maybe in the explanation, I will touch some of this so that you will understand more about that also. Then companies with share capital threshold. There are companies that are specific and certain companies that have, share capital threshold. Even though there are authorized share capital that all company must have minimum, there are certain categories of company that have other special minimum share capitals that the company need before you can be able to register such companies. So I'll talk about some few of these companies, then you will learn about that so that you will know what categories of company you want to create and the share capital you require to raise in order for you to register such company. So I'll talk more about that also in this. Then we'll have question and answer. So if you have any question, please write your question during the question and answer. You can drop your question. If I know the answer, I'll respond to you. If I don't, I'll tell you that I don't know the answer. So after your question and answer, then we'll have conclusion and call it 80. So these are 9 outlines that we are going to cover tonight. Okay. So about the webinar. So this webinar, like I did the data analysis awareness course webinar. This webinar also is like a sensitization and awareness webinar for the people. So if you want to learn more about company registration, you want to learn more about structuring a company in Nigeria, then this is the webinar. I will talk about that. I'll tell you more about what you need to know, most of the things you need to know to the best of my ability. I'll try my best to do justice to all the parts that you need to understand in order for you to avoid future, uh, issues that might arise if you fail to structure a company well, or you are not aware of all these things. You go ahead and you don't even know you sold out your company. You don't know what will happen in the future, because most of the companies, when they are starting at the very beginning or at the foundation level, nobody knows what will happen. It's like a pregnant woman. You have no idea what it will deliver. So that's what the company is. When the company is started, nobody knows what the company will become in the future. So if you fail to structure the company well, at the end of the day, you can build a name, you can build a brand, you can do whatever you want to do. At the end of the day, you lose it. And you have no idea why it happens. It all has to do with you fail to acquire knowledge or to consult those that are into the profession before you register such a company. So I'll talk about that, like trying to advise you, trying to sensitize you, create awareness for you on what to do and what not to do, and what you should know when you are going to create a company. So I'm not going to talk about other things that people might maybe thinking. Maybe for me to talk about tax of the company. And someone was even telling me, am I going to teach them how to register a company? I said, no, that's not what I said. So I'm going to talk about things you need to know to register your company and to structure your company very, very well, so that even in the future, I'll even talk about how to raise some shares in to get investors or investment and all that. I'll tell you how to do that maybe in this. I'll see what I can to talk about that, so that it will help you. Some of you that want to raise capital or that want to raise money, I will help them to learn how to do that and to sell their shares of the company to get the money. And the money you get is not a loan. So it's just something that you know how to manipulate the shares, how to do all this. It's your own company and you get what you want because of maybe you are in need of money. So what we are going to discuss is secondly is the different categories of registration, corporate registration that we have in Nigeria. So there are different categories of corporate registration in Nigeria, which Corporate Affairs Commission was saddled with the responsibility to register all the corporate bodies in Nigeria. So if you look at Corporate Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 as amended, if you look at it, you'll see that part 1, part A, part B, part C, all these parts of the CAMA are talking about the guidelines on how to run, register, and incorporate a corporate body. So that's what all this is talking about. So there are different categories of registration, which I believe some of you know three of them. For example, mainly you know three. Business name is part of it. That is the sole proprietorship. That's part of it. So that is number one. You all know that there is business name registration. There is also company registration. There's also company registration. About the company registration, there are different categories of company and different types of company. Even the registration has different categories. So we have, public, private. We all have that. We have public, we have private. Even these public and private companies that we have public, private limited liability company. We have private unlimited liability company. We have That's what we have. And then we have public company, that is public limited liability company. So these are the different categories that we have under company also apart from business name. So after that, then we have incorporated trustees. So these incorporated trustees have a lot. So under that company that I talk about, we even have limited by guarantee. That is a company that is limited by guarantee. So it's just a company that is like brother to incorporated trustees. So incorporated trustees are IT company. That's what we used to call them, IT. So they are the companies, all the non-profit companies, corporate bodies, that is corporate bodies that are not allowed to do business. So they registered it under, incorporated trustees like foundations. That is what we call NGOs. All of you are calling it NGOs. So incorporated trustees are NGOs. NGOs is part of it. NGOs are incorporated trustees. Foundations also are incorporated trustees. Associations are incorporated trustees. So all these are the incorporated trustees that uh we have another categories of it. So business name, company, incorporated trustees, and then the last one we have the limited partnership. This is something that Company and Allied Matters Act introduced it in 2020. Before it was not there, but now we have limited partnership. So even limited partnership, we have two of it. We have limited partnership and we also have limited liability partnership. So we'll talk about maybe some few in that, but we have limited partnership whereby there will be two partners. One is general, the other will be specific. Then these two partners will come and create a partnership. So if it is limited partnership, two of you, maybe I have a company, but you don't have a company. Then we just be go into partnership together and register a particular business together. So we run the business, me and you, and that's how it's work. But there are some certain issues related to all this, and we also have limited liability partnership also, where different people will come as partners to register a limited liability company. So that's what it is, but it's a partnership. And partnership is governed by normal local laws, that is state laws, and the rest. Then you need to create your partnership agreement, you get it signed, you do everything with that. So these are the categories of corporate registrations that we have, four of them. So we have the business name, we also have the company, we have the incorporated trustees, and we have limited partnership. So this is what we have. And always, whenever you want to register a company, you need to ask question, which one you need to register. It all has to do or depends on the type of business you are running. So that's what will allow the person who you are, consulting that to tell you what to do. Otherwise, you can choose whatever maybe you want, but you need to explain to the person what you are into for him to advise you on what to do. That's one thing about that. So these are the different categories of corporate registration that we have in Nigeria. So another thing that we have also, why limited company? Why limited company? So when we call it, or when they said the company is limited liability company, it means that the liability of that company is limited to the share capital of the company. Is limited to the share capital of the company. Sole proprietorship is what people are used to. And sole proprietorship is not a corporate, or it doesn't have a legal personality as its own. So that way, when you register a business name, you and the company are the same thing. So whatever you and the business are the same thing. Whatever the business did is you that did it. So if, for example, you have a business name and you go and borrow money, for example, you borrow 10 million and you failed to pay such 10 million, believe me, you must pay the money. Even if they are going to sold your house or to sell whatever they want to sell to raise their money, they can even take you to wherever they need to take you, unless and until when they get their money back. Because even if you you take the loan using your business name, that will not save you, because it's a business name and it's not a legal personal. It doesn't have legal personality as it's concerned. So that one thing about that business name. So, and business name compared to limited liability, apart from the liability is limited, it is also that when you died, the business is dead. That's what the business name is all about. So when you are no more, for example, you died, the business died. Nobody can inherit business name. It's not inheritable. So you died with the business. So one of the advantage of it, maybe you take a loan of 10 million before you pay the loan, you died. Nobody will pay the money. So that another maybe I can say one of the advantage of of business name, because if you rent, you take a loan and you fail to pay the loan is on you. When you die with the loan, so nobody will pay that loan. So that's maybe one of the advantage of it. But another thing is that you can't build brand with it. Like I told you, in the event of death, when you are no more, that brand, nobody can take it over. Nobody. That's the end of it. That's the end. So you are done with it. So that's one thing also about it. So also there are some few things that you cannot do with it unless you are using limited company. So limited company, I told you there are different categories of this limited company. But the one that people are used to is private limited liability company. This is the company that everyone is used to. But there is a public company. But let me tell you this. You see, even these big companies that we have, maybe in financial profession, maybe banks, all these banks that you are seeing, not all these banks are public companies. Most of them are limited private companies. It's just that some of them is after they grow up, after they become bigger, and they just convert it to public company. And when they did that is when they want to go public. They want to start selling their stocks or shares on stock market. That when they convert their company to public company. Of course, there is a conversion from private to to public. That is that conversion. So that's what these companies are doing. Example is uh, GT Bank. You can recall GT Bank is just like how many years they converted to PLC. Before they are not PLC. So there are a lot of these banks in Nigeria. Some of them are even private company as it is now. But some they converted later on. They converted into they converted to public company. One thing about this public company is that it's only a public company that can advertise the selling of their shares. That is, they are the only one that can do that. So private company cannot advertise that, yeah, I'm selling shares. Anybody who want to purchase shares will come to my company. I'll give the shares to the person. Public company cannot do that. It's only private. Private company cannot do that. It's only public company that are authorized to do that. So the reason why this company limited liability is that also everything in this limited liability is like you are protected. When you registered it, you are protected. Another one thing is that, like I talk about the shares, the liability is limited to the share capital of the company. Example that I gave you, maybe I gave example of 10 million using business name. If, for example, you are using business name, I told you, you collected 10 million loan and you fail to pay it, maybe you lost the money or everything or whatever, you must pay that money unless you are dead. You must pay it. Even if they are going to use your personal property, you must pay that money. That's one thing about it. But for example, a limited liability company, you take a loan of 10 million. And for example, let's say the company was burned down by fire, for example. You lost everything. The company is no more. All you need is to go and get a declaration of solvency and whatever, that you become insolvent, you don't have money. And that's the end of it. You're not paying anybody anything, and the company is dead. And that's all. You just wind up the company. That's it. And you can continue your life. Even if you have other money, but the money is not attached to the company, you cannot pay anything to anybody. That's one thing about this limited liability company. So that's why you see when you go and borrow banks money, and you use your company to collect the money and you fail to pay they can't go after your personal bank to take the money. That's one thing about limited liability company. They can only take their money from the company, from the assets of the company, and the liability should remain to that share capital of the company. Let me say this, to share capital of the company. Even if you take 10 million and the total share capital of the company is only 5 million, you are only paying 5 million to these people. So anything after that 5 million, you just eat it like that. That's why the companies sometimes they are very, 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 very smart. They know who to give their money to. They always know who to give their money to. So they look at the liability of this person, even if the person failed to give it to us. That's why sometimes they will use this, even if your share capital is not up to the amount of money you want, they will ask you to go and bring a document in the name of that company. Don't even do that. Don't even do that. If you go and bring the maybe document of land in the name of the company, even if the share capital of company is 2 million and the land is 50 million, and you take a loan of 50 million, you will pay them their money. You will pay them because that 50 million of land that we give to them is attached to the asset of the company. An asset of the company form part and parcel of the company. So it's the company that hold it as part is concerned. That's why they will always do that. They are very smart and they do it to people, and people will take their house, even their personal house. They change the document, they put the company name on the document, and they take it to the bank. So you are in there and you must pay the bank. That's why you see when you fail to pay, the bank will come and take you out of the house and they sold it the way they want. So don't do that. So the liability is limited to that. So that's one thing about, and that way always when another thing of this limited liability, you will have a shares to sell. You will have a shares. I will talk about shares later. You will have a shares to give to people. So that one advantage that it has over the business name that I'm comparing it with. So you can have shares. You can sold the shares to raise money to run the company and to keep evaluating your company, to keep increasing the value of the shares of the company. That's one thing about a company. So it will keep growing, growing, growing. It has future growth. Another thing also, company has a structure. That is structure in a company. You can structure your company the way you want. So that way you need people that will run the company. In business name, you don't have directors. So you don't have any director in business name. You don't have, and even directors, there are different categories of directors that we have. It's not only one director that we have. All the managing directors that you know, all the chief executive director, all the we even have some directors there that we call a shadow director. So we have that also. There are different categories of directors in the company that you can create. But for now, don't worry, your company doesn't have that much, maybe even amount of money to do that. Don't worry, I'll talk about who are directors, transactions, and what is their role in the company. I'll talk about that. But for now, uh, another why limited liability, there is a structure in it. So you can hire directors, you can have directors to run your company for you, and you can go back and sleep and allow the directors to do whatever you want for you. And also another advantage is for you, you can have secretary, you can have other people. All that is something that you can have with limited company. Another thing is that when you died, the limited company is not dead, so it will never die. So company remain a company till it has no expiration date. There is no expiring date for company. So even if you are no more, your children can take it. If your children are no more, grandchildren, great grandchildren, they can continue with the legacy that you built. For example, you see there are people that started legacy, business legacy with the name and whatever. You too, you can continue, your children will continue, and the rest. So it is like that. One thing about this company, you can even take loan with your shares. You can go and take loan. So any loan that you take and you die, that loan remain with the company. It's attached to the company forever. So that's why you see all these people that are inheriting company businesses, there is a loan that they are paying, which is their great grandfather that took the loan. And the loan is attached to that company, and they will continue paying that loan till eternity. They will keep paying the loan. So that's one thing about this company, issue of this company. So company, when there is a loan to the attached to a company, You must pay it, and the loan will remain attached to that company till when the company is winded up. So otherwise, the company will remain attached to that loan, and you must pay the loan. So you are dead when you are no more. Doesn't mean the company will be no more. The company remain a company and will stand. Everything I will continue. That's why in the company, because it has that legal personality, you see, the company has everything that human being has. Everything that human being has. The life, the hand, the head, the legs, and everything, whatever you think, as far as it's concerned in a law, a company is a person on its own. So whatever you did in the name of the company is the company that did it, not you. So that one, as far as law is concerned. So when you want to take us to court, for example, now you want to take Ahmad Technologies to court. You are not taking you are not taking me to court. You are taking Ahmad Technologies to court. So not me. So it's only that people that are behind the Ahmad technology are the ones that will appear in the court. And whatever happens, it's going to be on Ahmad technologies, not on the people. So if it is money, it's Ahmad technology that is going to pay the money, not the people. And if Ahmad technology doesn't have the money, that's the end of it. So the people will walk away, and that's it. That's the end of it. In as much as what has been done, all the wrong that has been done is done by Hamad Technologies. So it's Hamad Technologies that will take every consequences of whatever it's going to happen, not the people, not the people. Of course, there are some penalties that the directors and maybe the shareholders are going to pay, for example, like that, but not that, not that. Okay, so I think that's all. Let me just stop here. There are lots of things related to why company, why you need it, and the rest I told you. So there are many things to it, why you need to register a company, to start a company, and to ensure that you structure the company well. So in structuring this company, there are things you need. These are things that I'm going to start talking about. After understanding the type of company you need to register, I talk about the different categories of the companies. So when you understand that you consult whoever you want to consult, there are things you need while registering a company to structure it well. I'll talk about directors and secretaries. These two people, or these two categories of people, are staff of the company. They are your staff. It's like you hired them, you can fire them tomorrow. I can hire you as a director of my company today, I can fire you tomorrow. CEO is nothing, is a servant of a company. CEO that you are hearing is a servant of a company, is working for the company. It's not all CEOs that are the owners of the company. CEO is not the owner of the company. Please take note on this. CEO, everybody, for example, now, Ahmad Technologies, I can open a position to hire a CEO. I can give a CEO to someone. That's all. And I'll go back and keep doing whatever I want. One that CEO is not doing well, it's not bringing what I want, it's not generating enough revenue. Tomorrow I'll just give him a letter and say, oh, CEO, please pack your things, go. You are no longer CEO of this company. Then I'll appoint another CEO that I want. So directors, they are working for the company. So don't bother yourself, whether you are named to be on the directorship or not. You put people that will work with the company or work for the company as the director. That's what happens. But some people will come and put their wives. Your wife is at home and you put her as a director. What is she running? She's not running anything. That's not her place. I'll talk about where you should put your family members. You put people that are capable to bring a lot of things to your company. I'm going to do that. I'm going to appoint more directors in my company. Definitely, I'm going to do that. So I know there are capable hands that I will look after. I will look for them. If I knew they can do a lot that I want, I will hire them. Maybe I can hire like 5 directors. I can hire like 10 directors, 8 directors, 6, and I can give them all their roles. Okay, you can be a managing director. You can be an executive director. You can be so director. There are different categories of these directors. I will assign them their role and I'll put them. I will go to CAC and file their name that these people are the directors of this company. So that's what it happens. So you put people that will run the company as directors of the company. Okay, and if you are also part of the company to do that, you put yourself also, it's fine. So everybody will put himself, and that's okay, but not everybody supposed to be director of the company. It's only people that will run the company that's supposed to be directors of the company. Then secretary, you need secretary, someone who is learned. For example, it can be a chartered accountant, chartered secretary, a lawyer, legal practitioner to be your lawyer secretary. But now the rules have changed. For small companies, normal small companies with less than 500 million share capital, no need for them to appoint a secretary who someone who is professional. That is a legal practitioner, chartered accountant, or chartered secretary. No need for that. So you can appoint anybody as a secretary for now. But if the company grew, maybe it become bigger, it supersede 500 million share capital, then you need someone who is learned, someone who is qualified with license to act as the secretary of the company, because by then your filings, your everything, your activities is something else. But thank God, since when I registered Ahmad Technology, I appointed a lawyer as my secretary. That's what I did. So everything related to Ahmad Technology, every file is related to Ahmad Technology. He's the one that is doing it. So someone I will not be even aware that we need to do some filings, we need to do some things. He just go ahead and do it for us because he is the secretary of the company. He's a lawyer. So whenever you are doing that, make sure you have some. So if you don't have a lawyer, or the one that you appointed as secretary is not a lawyer, then you can hire a law firm. And take note, for the secretary, is not only a person that you can appoint as secretary. For example, now I have a law firm, Ahmad Law Firm. You can hire my law firm to be your secretary. You can put details of my law firm as your secretary when you are registering a company, and that's all. That law firm will be taking responsibility of all your secretarial services. They will render all secretarial services to you. That's how it works. So this is what this secretary will do for you. All the filings, documenting, because there are a lot of books you need to have, statutory books of records. You need to have them. All the different ledgers, you need to be saving them. You need to have a lot of documents in you. A lot of them, there are a lot of documents that your secretary must put them aside. Every company must have such statutory books of record, but some people are not aware of that. So when you are appointing a secretary, make sure he is someone who can do it for you. If you don't have anybody, go to a law firm, talk to them, and get a retainership. For example, get a retainership. Let's say they will say, okay, every year you will be paying us 500,000 or 300,000 or 100,000 or 50,000, depending on, maybe they look at your services, they look at the bulkiness of the work and everything. Then you get a retainership with them. Then they become secretary of your company. Even then, they are servant. So the director and secretary, they are all servant of the company. They work for you. They work under you if you are the owner of the company. So that's one thing that you need to know. So ensure that you put people that will drive the company forward as directors or secretary. Don't just use your friends. There are some people that are using their friends just like that as secretary. Why? On what ground? You have no idea. Put people that you know will run the company. If it is you that will run your company, put yourself. Okay. Then shares. Before I talk about shareholders, I think let's talk about shares. What are shares? Shares of the company. Shares of the company are the, let's say we can say let's say the value of the company. That's what maybe shares means. Shares, like some pieces of your company. Your company is maybe put into pieces. For example, let's say this is the company as a whole. Then we divided the company into 10. So each part, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That will make the whole of that company is shares. Okay. So this shares, let's say the company as a whole is 1 million. So this 10 that we divided it into, then is going to be what? 100, 100, 100, 100,000. So that means if each piece of your company is worth 100,000. So it means each share of your company is worth 100,000. So that's what it means. So by default, what people used to do in shares, they put shares to be one naira per each share. That is, for example, it is a 1 million share divided into 1 million. That is 1 million share capital divided into 1 million shares of 1 naira each. That's how it's going to look like. So I have 1 million share capital. So that 1 million share capital maybe is the worth, that is the value of the company, the money that the company maybe is worth. For example, the net worth of the company, 1 million. So that 1 million, I divided it into 1 million shares. That is, I put it into 1 million pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, up till million. Then it means since I divided 1 million divided by 1 million is going to be what? 1 naira. So it means the share capital of your company is 1 naira. Now on stock market, now if you look at it, Jaiz Bank is around 7 point something to 8 naira per shares. So if you want to own a stock, you go there and you purchase the share. You see Boa Cement, you see Boa Puts, you see Dangote Cement, you see GT Co, that is GT Bank. There are a lot of them. That's the value of their shares. When you take that shares from them, then you hold some pieces of that particular company. Okay, so this is what shares means. And when you are creating a company, you need to have a share capital to create a company, and you need to have a share capital to divide them into different shares. So, for example, now, if you have, like I told you, I give you an example of 1 million share capital. So if you divide it into 10, it's going to be, each share is going to be 100,000. So if somebody want to purchase the shares of your company, that person will bring 100,000 to get one piece of your company. So that's why when you are registering a company, there are two different categories of shares. We have equity and preference shares. So this equitable or equity shares and ordinary shares, they call it ordinary. So we have these ordinary shares and we have preference shares. So for the ordinary shares, there are normal shares. For example, normal, like I said, 1 million share, we divided into 1 million, then it's going to be 1 naira each. Okay. So we can have a preference shares. And these preference shares, they are shares of the company, but their value is more than the ordinary shares of the company. So the value of preference shares is way more valuable than. So in a company, I can have preference shares. You have ordinary share, then I'm bigger than you. I'm like maybe I'm first class, you are second class. That's what it means. Because maybe your shares is 1 naira each. Mine can be 10 naira each. So me and you, who is bigger? Then I'm bigger than, because one share that I own in the same company that you own a share, one share that you have is 1 naira. Mine, one share is 10 naira. So we are not different. We are not the same. So if I have 10, I have like 100 shares. That is, I have like 100 ordinary shares. While you, if you have 10, you only have 10. So mine is times, 100 of yours. So that's what these two categories of shares are there. So when you are registering a company, take note on what share capital you want to start the company with. Like by default, there are some minimum shares that people can start with. But we are using 500,000 to 1 million shares for people. Then you start with that. I say, someone will go ahead and start your company like that. But later on, make sure your company is reflecting, the share capital of your company is reflecting the real value of your business. That's one thing that you should know. Because that what will help you when you need investors. I talk about if you want to raise shares, I'll tell you why. When you need people to come and invest in your company, they will look at how many share capital the company has. Okay, if you want to give us some part of your company, so how are we going to benefit from it? For example, your business is 100 million and you only have share capital of 1 million in your company. The issue is, even if you go to take a loan from bank, they will just look at your company as this person. I don't think they don't even know if you are serious. But you are worth 100 million, and you only have 1 million on the document on the paper. Your company is only 1 million. So how will somebody come and invest in your company? Okay, you want somebody to invest 10 million in the company that has share capital of 1 million. What will happen? That person will be not even the owner of the company. That person will even the person own you now, not only the company, even own you, because you only have 1 million on the document of your company and you want him to invest. When he invests, definitely the entire company belongs to him. The entire company by default belongs to him, because if you go and update the CAC document, you increase the share capital, to 11. Now it is 11 million share capital. That person will take 10 million because he gave you 10 million. So he owned 10 million shares in a 11 million share capital company. So what did it mean? That person will make the call, because always I'll talk about shareholders also. I'll talk about that part, but don't make that mistake. So your shares should reflect at least what your company is worth. You are not paying the exact money when you are registering a company. You are only paying CAC, their filing fees, and you are paying stamp duty, there are 7.5% filing fees also. That's what you are paying. For example, if you are registering a company of 100 million share capital, you are not spending more than 5 million to register that company completely. You are not spending more than 5 million to register the company. So in a company of one that is 100 million, you spend 5 million, you see 95 million of the company is nowhere. That's what you will pay to get a company of 100 million share capital. So let me tell you what will happen when you get a company of 100 million share capital. I'll tell you some secret that these corporate people, they don't want you to understand this. Now, if I get a 1 million, if I get a 5 million, and I register a company of 100 million share capital, good. That means I divided that share capital into 100 million. So it means each share of my company is 1 naira, and I only spent 5 million to register that company, and that's the company that I registered. Okay, so now I'll go and start looking for shareholders. I'll go and start looking for those who will purchase the share of the company. So this company is worth 100 million share capital. So I need investors that will raise that 95 million, because I spent 5 million already. So I need people that will pay that 95 million naira for the company to be completed. So I already registered the company. I will need people to come and invest. Everybody who bring money, I'll give him some part of the company. So let's say, for example, I registered at 5 million. Then I take, for example, in the shares, let's say I take 30% of the company. So I want to sell 70. So I want to find 70 million. So 30 million is my own. So I want to find 70 million. So I'll go look for people to purchase the share capital of my company, which is 70 million. So anybody who will bring, for example, 10 million, I'll give him 10 million shares. If you bring 5 million, I'll give you 5 million. If you get even 10,000, I'll give you 10,000 shares until I sold the entire 70% of the company that I want to give to the people. And you can even say that whoever is going to purchase the shares cannot purchase 30% of that 70, because I'm the only one. I want to retain the ownership of the company, because if you allow somebody to pay 40%, then the person now is the one that will make the shot. He's the owner of the company, not you. So please, you should understand how all this works. This is the corporate way of doing things in Nigeria, not even Nigeria, across the world. This is what these people are using. They'll tell you their company is evaluated $10 billion, and the company doesn't even have $2 billion on the ground. So that's what they do. That's what they used to do. They'll just go and file that. They'll just go and have it on the document. When they come to you as an investor, they will show it to you. Okay, this is the company, and the company is having share capital of 1 billion, and we want you to invest like 500. Then they invest and they go. So in this, I'll talk about shareholders, since I believe you understand what shares is all about and how to make your shares and to run your company. So shareholders, let me tell you this, they are the owners of the company. Any company that with shareholders are the owners of the company. They are the owners of the company. Everything in the company is owned by them. If there is a profit, they are the one to take the profit. If there is loss, they are the one to take the loss. That's why directors and secretaries, they don't care about the loss of the company. You will pay them their salary because they have salary. Directors and secretaries have salaries in the company. But shareholders, they don't have salaries. What they have is dividend. Dividend is a profit. That what is profit in plain English is called profit. So at the end of every annual year, at the end of the year, they calculated everything, they turn over everything, they remove everything. That net profit that they have, they shared the net profit based on the percentage of shares everybody is holding. So if I'm holding 50% of the total share capital, then I will take 50% of the total profit made in the company. If I'm holding even 100%, then I will take 100%. But directors and everything, that already you paid them their salary. You are paying them their salary every month. They don't care. But shareholders are only taking dividends at the end of the year. So you declare dividends. There always has to be annual, during annual meeting, general meeting. All shareholders are invited. Even us now, there are some companies, some banks that owning their shares. They invite us for all this. If there is annual meeting, they invite the public. They say everyone who is interested to go, they will go. So in Sokoto, some of them they go to Giginya Hotel, they go to all some hotel. They'll just call people, they'll have some meetings, they eat, they declare everything in front of you. Because it's a must, a company must do that to everyone. They tell you everything. So this in this year, they made so amount of billions, they so this, they so this. At the end of the final dividend of the year is so amount of money. And then people will start clapping, people will start laughing. So once they declare that dividend, those with huge shares in the company already know what they are going to take home. So you that I don't even know what to call you. You that are spare tire of the company, like these big companies with trillions. So you are just going to get some few some few amount of money, just like that. That's why some of you will end up with 10,000 sometime at the end of the year. That's the your shares. That's what your shares gave you. It's only 10,000 out of the trillions or billions that the company made. So shareholders own the company. They make the call. They sack director. They sack secretary. They appoint director. They appoint secretary. That's what they do. That's the shareholder. They are the one that make the call. That's why you see whoever has the highest share then make all the calls. So he doesn't need even authorization of others. But even though there are some minority, rights in corporate law, where there are some certain calls that someone with highest share capital cannot make the calls. So even minority, they have, say they have some right to take them to court, to prevent them from doing some things, to do other things. There are some minority rights that there is in law. So it's not only that if you have the highest shares, you can make all the calls. No, it's not a blank check. You can be checkmate by those with the, smaller shares in the company. So that's one thing, about this. So ensure when you are registering your company, who are your shareholders? This part is very, very crucial. You see, this is where a lot of people are making mistake also. Some people, they registered company, they put their friends. Some people registered company, they put people that are not even aware they put them in the company. I will tell you, I have some cases, I know some cases whereby the person died, the other one just what the person did. Let me tell you the mistake the person did. He put the person as his friend because he has no idea what shareholder means. The person is the shareholder, and he gave him 100% shares. Him, as the owner of the company, he put himself as the director and he died. What do you think will happen? Even if I give you this as a class work or homework, you already know what will happen. So that what happened. And the company become a big company, become a fortune and everything. That what will happen. And nobody knows what happened. Why? Because this person is, as far as concerned, is the owner of the company on the document. Nothing you can do legally. There is nothing that can save you. You are not, you are even dead. You left your family with issues. So ensure your shareholders are people that even if you died, they are the people that have the portion, or they are the people that have the right to that particular company. And how many amount of shares you have, that amount of shares that you have is inheritable. I told you that if you read the post that I posted, it is inheritable. So if you died, people can inherit your shares. Now, if all the shares I'm holding, if I died, all my daughter, my children, they will inherit that. It's not like they are going to give us our money. No, they are going to inherit it unless when they want to sold it or when they want to sell it and move. But they are going to inherit the same share. So if there is dividend that was shared, it's going to be given to them on my behalf. Even if you are no more, that shares that you have will remain there, and is inheritable. Everyone can inherit it, in as much as the person can inherit you. So that one thing about, so put people in your company, please. Put people that you know, even if you are no more, they can inherit. That's why I advise people. Even though I don't know what is going on with CSE nowadays, if you want to put minor, it will just show you some issues and everything. But minors are eligible to be put on as shareholders if there is even single adult as shareholder. So with one adult and multiple minors is okay. Maybe you and all your children, you can put them as shareholders of your company. Okay, this person, this your daughter will take 10,000 shares or 100,000 shares. This also will take that. Even if you like, when you make a profit in the business, you can share the profit accordingly for your children. Maybe pending when they become adult, 18 years, for example. If they become 18 years, so you tell them, okay, this is the company, this is your profit that I have been keeping for you. So take it, start something for yourself. And that's all. You are no longer this and that. And your shares will remain also. I will hold it for you. And the rest, you can do that for your children if you like. So that means your children should be aware of the company you are running. They should be aware. You teach them how it works. Even when they are back from school, take them to your office, show them what you are doing. Tell them what you are doing. Show them things. Even if they are 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Don't mind. When you are normal, they will recall all what you show, all what you have told them. They will recall that. And ensure that this your children, they know everything and they have the shares in the company. Anytime you have a new baby that came, please increase the share capital, put his name, then you allocate another shares to the boy. That's all. Make sure you have your own lawyer. At the end of maybe when you die, that your lawyer will be the one to help a lot in ensuring everything in the company is continue running smoothly. And the directors also will ensure that what they are doing, they continue doing it, and the share capital is also continue being the shares or the dividends of the company is also shared to your family, that is to your uh, son and daughters and your wife and everything if you want. So this is what these shareholders are all about. So the next thing we're going to talk about, which is the last thing that we'll talk about, and we call it a day. I'm sorry it's taking us very, very long. How many times? So we started around 9:30 something. So it's almost 1 hour, thank God. So I don't want us to take it longer. So it's almost 1 hour. So let's talk about different categories of companies, share capital threshold in Nigeria. So this share capital threshold um I told you some companies in Nigeria, even though there is minimum authorized share capital by law, but some companies, there are some special companies with minimum share capital. There are some special companies with minimum share capitals. For example, a company with someone asked me, if you go back to the posting, my post today, if you go back, you'll see somebody ask me hospitality, issue of hotel. How much share capital is required to register a company that will run a hotel services? I told the person it's 10 million naira. 10 million share capital. I'm sorry, 10 million share capital. So that 10 million share capital is what that company needed to run a hotel services. So that's what it is. There are all these other, what do we call it? All these other companies that we have, maybe commercial banks. Some of them requires 2 billion. Like for example, all these OPs that you are seeing, their share capital is huge. The share capital is huge. They deal about 2 point something billion share capital. So you know how much they make, how much they raise to how do they raise that and the rest. I don't want to talk about their shareholders and everything, but I could have told you if you know how these people raise that money and how they did it. It's very wonderful. Tomorrow I will post about this space tag. When space tag started, it's on our eyes. And these people do all what they want to register the company, to raise the share capital, to do what they want. You see, nowadays, today, it was yesterday, Paystack were even announcing that they register a microfinance bank. And that microfinance bank, I believe, is going to be either regional or international. Even if it is regional, not even international, they need share capital of more than 2 billion. But I knew it's not even regional. It's going to be National microfinance. It's going to be that. So they are moving and they are doing a lot. They got the license, and all this fintech. There are fintech that requires 30 million share capital for you to register a fintech, or 20 million share capital. But there are some license in this fintech. If you want to create a payment gateways and all this, there are some license that requires you to increase the share capital to 100 million. I told you maybe in my one of my posts, I told you I was part and parcel of one of the payment gateway company. They are now doing great, like cheaper cash and all that, and they are accepting payment. I'm the one that registered. Even up till now, I'm the secretary of the company. Up till today, I'm their secretary. So the registration of the company is very hectic. The share capital of the company is 100 million. So there are lots of policies you need to write. There are lots of things you need to do. There are many things you need to do. So you have to do that so that all these people can do it, but they are not from part of there are people that are ready to do that. So there are all these other companies also. The insurance company, they also have their share capital. There are some companies that any company that requires foreign participation. Maybe there is someone who is not Nigerian in the company, then the share capital must be, before it was 10 million, but now it's 100 million. If you are registering a company with someone who is not from Nigeria, there is someone who is not from Nigeria, even if it is Niger, then definitely you need to increase the share capital of the company to 100 million. So it's very hectic. Before it's only 10 million, but now they updated it to 100 million. So it's going to be very hectic, not unlike before. So it's another threshold in that. But most of the companies that our people are registering seriously, they don't require this special threshold. It's only all these other companies that are very big companies that requires those. There is a book which the AC has the checklist that they give us that. So we always when we need also to learn more about it, we refer to the document, we read the books, we understand them, and then we advise accordingly. So due to we have been working, using, and everything. So sometimes you see, if you ask us, we know what to tell. We already know the share capital that is required for maybe the type of company you want to, register. So you see, this is the things that we are going to discuss in this company registration, and also how to structure corporate structuring also in Nigeria. So I think I will listen to I will read your questions if you have any. So let's have question and answer. If you have, then we can uh, move from there, and we have conclusion and qualitative. So go ahead. If you have any question, drop your question, and I will respond to the question. And if you don't, I think we can call it a day until we meet in the next webinar. So any question, if you have a question, drop it in the chat. I will read it, and I will. Okay, any question, please? Okay, someone was asking, is it must to open a bank account for small businesses? Even because of this tax law that is in existence now, I can say it's a must for you to open a bank account. Let me just say this for you. You need to open a bank account, seriously. You need to. And there are some issues if you are using business bank account, or when you are using a company bank account. The tax is going to be higher and much, 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 much for you if you are using business account. That is business name. So all those that are using POS, seriously, I pity them. At the end of this year, the money they are going to pay as tax is going to be huge because their tax will start counting from 800,000 naira. So per day, a POS person will run will run how many millions per day? You are using business name, so you need to use a company. So company account is better because a company your tax will start reading when you reach 50 million. Only when you reach 50 million, and then you start calculating the tax. So it's going to take you some few uh you know ways to do that. So you see, yeah, you need to open a bank account, please. Oma was saying, what is the minimum amount to start an NGO? NGO doesn't need amount. There is no share capital in NGO. I told you you can't run business with NGO. NGO doesn't have share capital. The only thing NGO has is for you to get the money to do the registration, and then that's all. After you register NGO, that's all. All you need is to be filing. You can be just filing annual returns. Yeah, they require you to file annual return, update your maybe statement of affairs, to do everything on the portal. That's all what they required from you as NGO. So it doesn't have any minimum amount to start. It's only the registration fee that you need to have to do the registration. And the registration is very hectic. It takes at least minimum of 40 days. Minimum. It will take that 40 to 30 days to finish. So it takes a lot of steps and steps you need to follow. Does NGO and foundation have shareholders? Like I said, uh, NGO, they don't have shares. So there is no share capital in NGO. And they not share. What they have, NGO and foundation, what they have is trustees. They have trustees. So trustees are the ones that will run the affairs of the NGO. So they are the ones that will oversee everything that the NGO is doing. And trustees are not the owner of the NGO. They are just committee members, or like how can I call it? Patrons. They are like patrons. Let me say that. They are like that. They are like patrons of the foundation. So that means trustees are not the owner of foundations. That was, I see some people are doing this, but yeah, it's normal in Nigeria. We are doing it. I can have a foundation now, but I will just go and get some, higher, respected people and appoint them as the trustees of that particular and foundation that I have. So that whenever I put money in that foundation, they are the ones to run the company. They will hire those that even going to distribute the money and everything. That's how it's supposed to be. But our people now, you are the owner of the foundation and you are the chairman of the trustees. And the way we are registering incorporated trustees is even not how it's supposed to be. How much will cost to upgrade business name? I registered myself to company limited by shares in details, please. What do you mean by in details, please? I didn't get you. What what do you mean by okay? To tell you the amount is supposed to be in details. Even the amount. No, it's just like it's depend on who to register or who to upgrade it for you. Because you cannot, since you are the one that do the business registration, you can do it, I believe, by yourself. But the upgrade, it's going to be very hectic for you to do that if you are not a licensed person. For example, you are not chartered accountant or registered chartered secretary or legal practitioner. So for you to upgrade the business to limited is it costs almost. It depends on who to do it for you. Me, I do it normally. I upgrade it 100,000. That's how I do it. So you can get less, you can get higher. Maybe when you ask somebody to do it for you, it all depends on who will do the work for you. Yeah, you will get the recording. I put the recording, so maybe when I'm done with it, I'll share it with you. Yeah, you need directors, you need secretary, but not only that, you must need them. I told you, you need people that they are the ones to run the company. They are the ones to be the directors. They are the ones to be the directors. They will make the calls. They are the one to run the business. They are supposed to be the director. Secretary should be someone who know how to do some filings, who know how to file a lot of things for you, who know how to go to FIRS to do everything for you, who know how to file VAT filings and everything. That was supposed to be a secretary. So if you're a secretary, you don't have a personal person to be secretary, then you can put a corporate secretary. I told you can hire a law firm to be your secretary. Even a law firm can be your secretary. Or you can hire a chartered office, chartered accountant office, or chartered secretary office to be your secretary of the company. Then you can be paying them on retainership and the rest. Someone say, can a company register with CAC and be a scam company? Thank you for this question. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes. A company can be a registered company with CAC and can also be a scam company. But it's very, very rare for a company to be a scam company when it is registered with CAC. It's very, very rare. But you need to do your own, what can I say, your own search and confirm if the company is registered well. And if the company is registered and they are scamming you, one thing about it, the people that are scamming you can easily be traced and arrested. Once you go to, even now, maybe if I know the company, you say EFS, I don't know, I don't want to talk about the company, please. Don't mind it. I don't want to talk about it. Maybe they are not scammers. You are the one that maybe said they are scamming. So I don't want to talk about them, not to tarnish their image. So I don't know what happened, but if the company scammed you, it's okay. You go and conduct a public search, get the names, you can get the phone numbers, the names, everything of them, report them. They will be arrested. All the directors of the company that are scamming you and the shareholders of the company that are the owners of the company, you can go there and just kind of, what can I say? You can go there and make them arrested. So if they were arrested, you don't have issue at all. You don't have issue. So that's something you can do. Okay, so this question that this one was asking, is chief operating officer part of director, or is it next to command after CEO? Okay, you see, the names of the directors that we have there, or that are part of the directors that we have. If he is heading a particular operation and he's doing something, of course he is a director also in the company. What as someone can, you know, can what can I say? That's what as someone can execute something, then that person one part of your directors. Then as it, but the name is cannot appear in CAC document as COO. No, it's only director that will be there. So all the other chief that chief technical officer, chief operating officer, chief this, chief that, all this they have their own part to manage. So you don't need to they can be directors. But you know that these managing directors that we even have directors that are non-executive directors. It's not only that he must execute. There are some directors that they are overseeing only. They're not executing anything. All they are doing is they are overseeing what other people are doing. So maybe you have for example, in a company where maybe let's say you have your uncle who is retired now, he's not doing anything. You appointed the uncle as director in your company, and you say, okay, uncle, what I want to please just for you to monitor those that are coming late, those that are closing early, that all you should be monitoring. Your salary is maybe 50,000 every month. You see, your uncle will be very happy that after retirement he got a job as director or something like that. Or but he's not. He's a non-executive director because he's not executing anything. So there are lots of them. There are even, I told you, shadow directors. There are all other different categories of directors that we have. Yeah. So any question, please? Any question? Any question? Any question, please? Someone was asking reading material. I don't have any reading material. Even me, I'm reading everything from my experience for you. So that's why I told you. I don't give. I told you from the beginning to get a jot pad to write whatever you want to write. I don't have that. I don't give handout or any written materials to anyone. So it's just my, my experience and my knowledge about it that I have shared with you. So now, in conclusion, I think what I would just say is that please be very mindful in whatever you're going to do in this life. I will advise you seriously that anytime, please, anytime you are going to do something, if you don't have knowledge of it, ask those with the knowledge of it, please. A lot of people nowadays they're assuming they know everything, especially those with degree. So you're a degree holder, you think you know everything. So whatever you want to do, you go to ChatGPT, you go to Google, you go to YouTube, and just do whatever you do anyhow. Believe me, when it's going to start eating you, you will know that it will start eating you well. So please get someone that is experienced in the field to ask him. Even us lawyers, as you see us now, it's not everyone that is, learned in this corporate issue. Some of them are not even doing it. Even now, I have a lot of seniors that they senior us with even more than 10 years. When they need CAC issues, they used to call you for that. But you, when you need to litigation issues and other things, you need to go there and lie down in front of them because they knew better than you. And one thing that helped me more in this corporate issue is because everything is it's been done online, so I'm always online. So I have more specialization in that. So please, I want to tell you this: ask before you do anything, especially when it comes to running a business. Ask before you do anything because you have no idea what your company is going to be in the future. Your company can be anything. You see that company that you are seeing with, you have capital of only 10,000 today or 1 million today. You have no idea by 2030 what you are going to have. It can be 1 billion, it can be 1 trillion. Nobody knows what will happen. So you have to structure everything the way it's supposed to be. That way, let me tell you, there is all these people, our fathers and our grandparents that you are seeing. Why some of them, their companies are still standing is because they use lawyers right from day one. Right from day one. Since 1980s, you see that your father has registered a company. You see, these people, they know what they are doing. So you see that they have been doing the business since and they structured everything well since. So you too, you need to understand that and you need to ask, you need to learn, you need to inquire, and you need to do exactly how it's supposed to be done. Please do everything legally and legitimately. That's how it's supposed to be. So this is all what I can tell you. I have shared this with you, and I wish you all the best in everything that you are into or you are about to do. If you make any mistake, you can correct the mistake. It's not, you know, over. You can correct the mistake. Go ahead, correct your mistake. Change everything the way it's supposed to be. Structure everything, even if there is nothing, at least you know what you are doing and you understand what all this is all about. So I wish you all the best, and thank you so much, and see you in my next webinar. I'm going to share the registration of the next webinar, maybe tomorrow or next tomorrow. So I wish you all the best. Someone was asking, is the form submitted for certificate of attendance? So you want me to give you certificate of attending this? Seriously? How can? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who attended this webinar. I don't know. I could have give you say thank you. I could have give you this certificate of attendance because at least you have some knowledge in you. I could have give you certificate of attendance from my law firm. So under my law firm name, I could have give you certificate of attendance. So I don't know who participate because the registration link is the same with the one we used yesterday, day before yesterday. So I don't know. And if I knew, I could have known those that attended the lecture from A to Z. I could have give them the certificate of attendance. But don't worry, maybe in the next coming webinars, if there is something like that, maybe I'll give you certificate of attendance, maybe. Then at least it will be useful for someone. I don't know what you're going to even do with it. I don't know. But thank you so much. I wish you all the best and see you in the next webinar. Bye bye.